Okay, so I want to especially welcome everyone joining this analysis this morning. Uh, we're going to be looking at what the new week will be like. And so I'm going to be sharing my screen with you for details of the various explanations which I'm going to be saying with regards to this analysis. Okay, so last week we had a beautiful session like this, and amazingly, most of all that we predicted came as predicted. So today we're going to be giving you a full detail of the strategy which we're using in our team that works for us. So first of all, I always say we are day traders. We start taking our analysis from 1 week time frame. What do we do for 1 week time frame? We look at the trend. So when we look at the trend, we usually use blue trend line to map out our trend. So when we look at the trend, we're able to ascertain if we are on an uptrend or if we are on a downtrend. Now, if you look at this particular trend, you will see that this is a typical downtrend. Okay, so another one again is to observe that there is a bit of a counter trend which we started observing from last week, from this point to this point. Okay, so and we said if for any reason price begins to maintain this trend, then we will be looking out for a counter trend that is gradually becoming a an uptrend. Okay, so that's what we look at first of all in a 1 week time frame, and the next thing we look at is um, price action. So we're able to map the various price action areas. So we can start from the top part and then come down to the lower parts. So why are we taking cognizance of all these price action levels? It's because from experience, we observe that anytime price gets to each of these levels, there's usually some level of reaction. So in building up our strategy, we identify these lines. Of course, you can see we're using the green line. So when price peradventure gets to that level, we are able to make certain decisions. Okay, so this is basically the two things we do from the 1 week time frame, and from then we move straight to the 24 hours time frame or the 1 day time frame. So you will notice and observe that the 24 hours time frame is more like uh, zooming in to the more detailed part of the 1 week time frame. So you will notice that there are some price actions that were not revealed in the other higher time frame, which is the 1 week time frame, which is now clearly revealed in this 24 hours time frame. So those are the price action levels that you need to identify. Okay, so when you look, there are not much of them this time. You can see this. There are not much of them this time. Most of the price action levels, okay, I can see one here. Most of the price action levels have been correctly identified, and almost the same with the first one that was identified, which is the 1 week time frame. So we're going to take our trend line again, and we're also going to observe if on the 24 hours time frame, if we are still on a downtrend. Of course, as you can see, we're still on a downtrend in the 24 hours time frame, but the counter trend is gradually building. So we're going to keep our eyes on these counter trend lines to see what it becomes of it in the future. Okay, so we go straight to the 4 hour time frame. It's in this time frame that we turn on our session breaks. I always tell you, turn on your session breaks. Why do we do that? Come to settings, click on events, tick session breaks, tick economic events. Session break should be on green for my choice. Then economic events should be on red. So why are we mapping out the economic event? Because we do not trade news. And sometimes news is a problem to our analysis because it mostly work against the analysis. So most times we just we check the news time as a red mark or red line, indicating that we should not take entry at that point. So you can see this first, this second, and this third in the 4 hour time frame. So on this 4 hour time frame, first of all, we're going to look at the trend. Obviously, we're still on a downtrend from the 4 hour time frame. Is obviously a downtrend. So we're going to identify that. So these are part of our factors for looking out for entries. Okay, so after looking at the trend, the next thing we're going to observe is the price actions. Okay, so let's look if the price actions which we've identified in the higher time frames, if they are equal to the ones we're seeing now. So if you look closely, you'll notice that there are some not very touching. So let's just draw another one close to it. Okay, so this one is here. This one is okay. This one, let's just draw another one close to it. Okay, I can see this one is this one is separated. So I mark it. Okay, this one too is separated. So I mark it. These two. Then you can see this one. So you're gonna take out your time to observe all the price action. So I'm very, very particular about the downtrend because this is a downward movement of price. So I'm particular to see the price actions downward. Okay, so you can see one here. I can see one here. Then I can see one here. I can see one here. All these are very important. So now, of course, as day traders, 4 hours time frame is very key for us for resistance and support. Even as we drew the price action from higher time frame, we did not identify the resistance support from that time frame. We just looked at the price action. But in our head, we already know that as long as price begins to get to any particular uh, price action level, we know that it's either a resistance or a support. So it's registered in our brain. So, but from this price action level, we would love to just draw maybe one or two blocks, which will also help to instill our decisions as soon as market starts. So we would like to identify one other block here. Then, yes, we would like to identify another one here. So my other blocks are thick in its line. Then when, for any reasons, price breaks through it, I make it transparent so that I can be able to identify the difference between my order block and my BOS, which is break of structure. So break of structure, order blocks, it's not just big grammar, it's just an opposite of the other one. So take note of that. It's just an opposite of the other one, so that there's no level of confusion when you are dealing with that. Okay. So which one is order block? Which one is break of structure? Let me show you now so that you can understand what I mean. So for instance, if there was another block here before this long bearish candle, this red bearish candle, what it means is that this red bearish candle, after the pressure for sellers that came into the market here, after the liquidity that was experienced here, the bearish movement broke through this other block, confirming it to be a valid BOS, which is break of structure. So what does that do for us? When you change the the color to become transparent, indicating that it's a break of structure. What this shows you is that uh, you should be looking out for a reversal, not a reversal that will go upward because the structure is already broken. So that means there will be more bearish move. But once you have identified the reversal completely, you have to go with that bearish move for a massive sell. That's what BOS do. So take note of OB, which is order block, and BOS. They will help you very well in making good entries and good market decision. So you will notice that my BOS throughout my analysis will be of this color, transparency, and my OB will be this. So I cannot determine a BOS until I confirm a break. But my OB is always determined from the beginning of the analysis. So I've drawn my OB from the 4-hour time frame. And the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go straight to the 1-hour time frame. So when I get to the 1-hour time frame, I'm going to look at the trend again to see if we are maintaining the downtrend. Of course, we are. So personally, I would love to still add another downtrend line, which I would use in making decisions to my entries. Okay, so I'm going to add this on because I'm looking out for a downtrend. So after that, I'm going to love to observe my price action levels to see if they actually are touching, just as I've done it on the higher time frames. Obviously, I still have some price actions touching, like this one is touching. Okay, no, this one extended a little bit upward. So I'm going to mark that extension. Even this, I'm going to mark the extension because it will be very valid for me to make certain decisions as soon as trade begins. Now, what am I going to be using that for? I'm going to be using it for break of break even and closing of trade. So let's say I take an entry at a particular point or a particular time, and price begins to move. Once it gets to any of these price actions, because I'm expecting it to make a decision or make an action, I will be looking at either closing or breaking even, so I do not lose my profit. Okay, so after the 1 hour time frame is just for this trend line and this price action. The next place we're going to jump 45, just as we jump 3 and 2. No much difference between 3 and 2 as regards 4 hour. Same also, no more difference between 45, 30 as regards 1 hour. So we're going to go straight to 15 minutes. We'll ignore 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. Just go straight to 15 minutes, being that our, what's it called? Our our entries are going to be coming in from the 15 minutes. So in this 15 minutes time frame, I'll be looking out for the trend, first of all. And obviously, this trend is still on a downtrend. As you can see, still on a downtrend. So we are good with our trend. Then the next thing we're going to observe is the price action. So let's see if the price action has identified in other time frames, if they are very valid here. Obviously, they are very valid on these time frames. So I will not be needing. Okay, I just saw one now. Okay, so this price action, I'm going to identify them. This one as well. And I think I should identify this one as well. So I think those are the only time frame, the only price actions should be identified. Okay, there's another one here. Then, okay, there's another one here. There's actually much of them. Except you zoom, you might not see them. So there's one here. There's another one here. And there's another one here. So I'm going to be using all of these price actions to make certain decisions. Okay, so remember we're on a downtrend. So price action downward is also very important. So let me zoom in so we can see the downside. Okay, so that one has been marked already. All right, so um after that, the price actions and trend line is being identified. The next thing we would observe is I would love to take this price action. It's very key because there's a lot of resistance support there. Okay, so after all of that, the next thing I'll do is to look at um, my my psychological level. But also remember that we are to identify sell region and buy region, which we were supposed to do from 4 hour time frame. Okay, I think I omitted that when I was in the 4 hour time frame, but it's a simple thing to do. So let's just do it quickly. So what are we looking at? When I woke up 5 a.m. today, the two candles that started the week has not yet been formed. Okay. This is the part where I want everybody to pay close attention to what I'm doing and what I'm saying so that we can avoid all the mistakes that usually arise as regards this. All right. So your session break tells you when the week started. If you look, you see the week started on the 24th of September. And the first candle is this bullish candle. It's supposed to be a bullish candle, but if you look at that particular candle, you see that um, it's a it's a particular kind of bullish candle where the sellers pressure the buyers. So it can also be called a bearish candle, looking at the kind of candle. Whatever name it is, our focus is as at when the price opened and when the price closed. So we are looking at the two candles, this first one and this second red one. The first green one and the second red one. These are the two candles that began the week. So what is our most concern about these two candles? We will just identify the high of the two of them with a red line, a thick red line, so that you are able to separate it from price actions, and the low with a thick red line. So what will the high and the low help us do? The high helps us identify that anytime candles or price moves into this region, we'll be looking at for buy. So we call it the buy region, right? So we call it the buy region. Okay. Then anytime for any reason, okay, we normally say buy region for the week. Let's just identify that way so that it's very clear for anybody who is reading this. So normally we say buy region for the week. Okay, so we usually put it on green and then we make a clone of it and we take it downward for the sell. So anytime price crosses the second red line downward, we are looking out for a sell. Okay. So what it means is that for this our particular strategy, the sellers will pressure this region while the buyers will pressure the other region. Okay, so it doesn't mean that we will not buy at the sell region, but anytime I see a buy entry in the sell region, I'll be going for a short. Okay, but anytime I see a sell, I go for a long. That's what I mean. You know, that's what will help me to be able to make accurate decision throughout the week. Same also for the buy region for the week. Anytime price gets to the buy region, I'm looking at more for long buys. But if I see any sell entries, I will go for shorts. So quickly, we'll go back to our 15 minutes time from where we were before we decided to give us the two candles that began the week. So clearly now we've been able to identify the two candles that began the week and our regions, right? Okay. So to end this analysis, before we start making entries, the last thing which we're not yet done is to draw out our psychological levels. So how do we normally start that? course, we use blue lines using the horizontal ray line. We look at the current place where price is. We drop a horizontal ray line with blue color. Then we quickly go to setting to see the number. When you look at this number, you can easily tell what the closest psychological level to this number will be. If you take out this 8, take out this 9, and this 3, what does it give you? Can you see that it went very far? It went very far. So let's check again. If we take out, let's say we make this, let's say we make this 5. Let's see what it will be. Did you see that? So the psychological level, if we decide to make it as 1.225, that's the closest to the current price. Now someone else can decide to say 1, 2, 3. Let me see 3. Can you see that now? So 1.23 is also a psychological level, but I would love to use 5. My reasons is because after the 0 is 5. Then after the 0 is 5. After the 0 is 5. We don't have 3, but 3 is still a round number. It could still even go for psychological level. So, but for me, I would prefer to use 5. Because that's the closest for me. Okay, so since I've been able to identify that, going upward, all I need to do is to add a 5 to the previous 1.225, which will give me what? 1.2 230. So 25, which is the 5. 25, which is the 25 after the 1.2. To add 5 to it to give you 1.230. So that will be the next psychological level going upward. Okay, so going downward, it will be removing 5 from that 1.225. I'll be having 1.220, right? 25, 1.220. Okay, so the next one going downward is 1.220. So I've been able to draw, sorry, excuse me. I've been able to draw three psychological levels. You see it more on the 4-hour time frame. See it better on the 4-hour time frame. So let me shift this 4-hour time frame so that you can see it very well. Okay, so this is it. These are our psychological level. We've been able to draw 3 levels. So adding more levels is simple. The last one downward is 1.220. So all I need to do is remove 5 from that 220. Even if I draw the line here, all I need to do is just come here and then identify the next one from 220, that's 15. Just put 15 close to the 1.2, and when you click OK, it has already taken its position. And then upward, after this one, we had 130, right? So all we need to do is just drop another one. Just drop another one and just make it 1.235. That'll be the next one upward, 35. That's all. So automatically we've been able to mark out all our psychological levels. So now we are good to go. We're going to be winning this week like never before because our strategy has been tested and proven very effective, in winning the GU and making you king. But please take notes. I already told you, pay attention to news. If you notice, no much news for today. Okay. No much news okay, you can see the closest news here. This is the closest news here. I spotted one for 11 p.m. when I looked at Forex Factory. Of course, you're going to use forexfactory.com to look at events and news when making your entries. So what are the confluences or factors you pay attention to while making your entries? Number one, you're going to look at the trend. Okay. Number two, you're going to look at the pattern. Okay. Number three, you're going to look at price action. So we're going to look at these factors before I do a little bit of back testing, then close this analysis for this morning. We're going to look at price action. Number five, we're going to look at psychological level. Psychological levels. Then I already said news. Pay attention to news. So you don't make entries when there is a news. So you can use these five confluences. Okay. You could also say region. Region. That's we already say we have by region, sell region. You could say region. So which region am I? It will be part of what will help me identify if I should go into that particular entry or not. So you've seen that now. So in this case now, I'm going to use these confluences to do a back testing as I close this particular analysis in class. So let me show you how I'll be using these factors with this analysis that is done to make my entries. So let me go straight to one day, which is 24 hours time frame, since that's the only one that I can use for back testing for now. Of course, you cannot do back testing on TradingView until you have subscribed for the subscription fee. Okay, so in absence of any subscription, I'm going to use 24 hours time frame to do a back testing, keeping my factors close. All right, so all I need to do is, for those who don't know how to do this, click on replay. It brings out this cursor. So look for the date where you want to start the back testing. So let me start from this Monday, okay? All right, so I've done that now. Then let me go straight to that day and make my entries. So how do I make entries before our time goes off? How do I make my entries? Trend. First of all, what trend is this? This is a downtrend. Okay, so I can actually find an entry here. Then what pattern? I'm going to be looking at for different patterns. First pattern I'll be looking at for is M pattern, because after every M pattern, there's usually a bearish move. Then I'm going to be looking at for a W pattern. Usually after very long overselling move or long bearish move, there's usually a W pattern, which is more like a retracement for trend or counter trend to change the pattern into a bearish move, into a bullish move. So after every W pattern, there's usually a bullish move. Okay. Then we have the head, neck, and shoulders. We have the head, neck, and shoulders. So all of these are what confirms pattern. Then price action, of course, we've drawn our price actions. This particular one I'm doing now, the price action is not marking it. How am I going to use it now? I won't use that, please. Let me just come back a bit, okay? Because I want to use my price action. I want to use my price action. So let me do from here. And my price action is being sent. Okay? So now let me come back and then zoom out. Bring my factors close. So we've looked at trend. We've looked at pattern. Now we're talking price action. Okay, right now, so with price action, which is this, I'll be looking at for when any candle breaks any price action. If it's bearish, I'll look out for a bearish move. If it's bullish, I'll look out for a bullish move. Then same also for psychological level. So psychological level 2 and price action is the candles that break those levels. Then I'll look out for news. And then the region, whether it's a buy. If it's a buy region, I told you already, I'm going to go in for a long buy. If I see sell in a buy region, I'll go for a short sell. Okay? Vice versa for sell region. Now, don't pay attention to these red lines because these 24 hours time frame. So the red lines are showing very, very closely. Okay. So, but for 15 minutes time frame, they will not be that close right now. So I'm going to play. Let me show you how I make my entries. I'm going to play. So market is moving. Did you see that? Did you see that? That automatically is a confirmation for me because this long bearish candle broke this price action. Now on this time frame, you might not see psychological levels because this is a very high time frame. So try and pay for the subscription for back testing. I'm going to see how I can pay for this month so that I can back test with 15 minutes time frame. Okay. So I'm looking at for this. Look at this bearish candle that broke this price action. Is a confirmation for me. There was a time someone was asking, oh, so Pastor, if the bearish candle breaks through that price action level, what do we do? Do we wait for a reversal to make the entry? Most times I don't wait again because the bearish move is already a confirmation for me. I just go with market execution. Okay, so I can be able to catch up with the move. I'm so sure for the move. Anytime I see a confirmed bearish candle, I am sure that this bearish candle will move till my next price action. If you notice, to this next price action, that was when it broke, did a little bit of retracement, and then went again and hit this next price action. Okay, so that's a confirmed entry for me. Let me take one more entry before my time finishes. I have just 5 more minutes. So did you see that it kept going down? So a confirmation of another bearish candle of this breaking this, it's another confirmation for another entry. Okay, so this is what we call late entry. This is what we call late entry. I didn't enter on time, but I'm using it as an illustration to show you. So how do I put my stop losses? My stop losses must come at a particular price action level that is very significant. Okay, that way I am sure that AI will not go for my stop loss. You can see this particular one. You can see that the entry is here. So what is the closest price action to this entry? This is it. So I'm not going to put my stop loss there because if for any reason candles begins to come backward to look for my stop loss, nothing will stop it. There's no wage. So most times these price actions are like wage for me, for SL, for stop loss. So I'm going to like to put it just after the price action levels so that when it gets here, sometimes if I'm using a very big account, I would like to come up here because I know the account can take it. Okay. So for any reason AI decides to play the way it used to play, it cannot come to my stop loss. Or if it comes close, the wage will stop it. And then I observe the market to know if I can still continue with that particular trade. Let's spot an early entry before we close this analysis. Let's spot it. So price is moving. Okay. Did you see that? That is an entry, but I'm not going to make that entry. Reason is because this bearish candle is very long and the next one forming is small. So I won't make that entry immediately. And there's a lot of sell already. So let me observe first. Let me observe again. You see why I observe? Because I'm spotting reversal. There's already oversell. Now I'm going to be looking out for any bullish because this is a reversal already. Any bullish candle that breaks any price action level will be a confirmation for me to go bullish. I need a very clear bullish candle. Once I see it, I'm not making any entry. Of course, this is already a trend. Now, this was an M pattern. It gave this bearish move. It looks like after the bearish move, a W pattern is forming gradually, but let's observe it first and see if it's a W pattern. Okay. That bearish candle confirm the bearish entry, but I don't want to take that yet. I don't want to take an entry that will hit my stop loss. I want to observe first. Can you see it's forming a W pattern? So I want to confirm the pattern first that is happening. Okay. If it breaks downward, then it has scattered the W pattern. It has broken downward. So breaking downward is confirming it's a downtrend. But I'm not going to enter until I see a confirmed either a bearish or a bullish candle break through my price action. So I want to see this pattern completely formed. I want to see this pattern completely broken before I can make the next entry before my time goes up. Can you see? This is a W pattern. So, okay. All right. So I just observed now that After the W pattern was formed, price suddenly came and broke this price action level, breaking this OB to confirm it into a BOS. So since it's a BOS, I'm going to take an entry there, but my TP will be on the next take profit, and my stop loss will just be at the next at the price action level. So if this entry was made here, of course, profit is already made. I'll be looking out for a reversal. So I'm going to take my TP early. Okay, so he hit the final TP for us. Then let's look at again for another move. So the W pattern was already scattered. Okay, so right now there was another bearish move, but not clearly a bearish move. So I'm going to still look. Okay, so this one confirmed the second entry. This second one confirmed the second entry. So this will be the last one I would say before my time goes off. So this is a confirmed second entry because the bearish candle broke through the price action and the stop loss will just be above the price action.